I want him to suffer and then to die in darkness.
We have 6 tweets here from the developers that I want to talk about. The first one, it stems from the tweet that Nee made. If you didn't see the video that I uploaded, I believe it was about yesterday or something like that. You just click on the channel, scroll down, you'll find it. Nee's on the thumbnail. In that video, Nee was basically talking about everything that he dislikes with season 2. And a lot of people agreed with it because a lot of people believe that the reasons that he listed out, and there's others that was like kind of missing as well. But basically people feel like all those issues are the reason why season 2 has failed. We spent the whole month of April, just reacting to madness on top of madness. And the developers, they responded. They apologized. They told us that there's updates that's going to be coming pretty soon. But now we have a response directly to what Nee was saying about everything season 2 related. So I want to read this. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like, but let's talk about this. I have confirmed my perception of this matter with the balance and tuning teams. They seem to understand your frustrations and are working to improve. So please give them a little more time. And this is something that a lot of players are sick of more time. We went through all of season 1 and they told us to wait 8 months. And then they delivered one of the worst updates for a fighting game in recent memory. A lot of people has invested a lot of time, a lot of money into this game, and it only has let us down. And when you talk about how flooded the market is with other games like Oblivion, Street Fighter, you talk about whatever game, Monster Hunters, there's a lot of other things to play, and that's what people are starting to do. We see this with the Steam numbers taking a nosedive. But you have another tweet here where he says, my post was a bit wordy on this matter. To be precise, the Battle and Toonie team has submitted the first ROMs. If that's a technical word, you guys explain it to me in the comment section, but I have no clue what that means. ROMs of the fix for this, and the first phase will be introduced in the May update. Furthermore, after that, there will be another update in June that will be related to the defensive side of the game. So this is pretty interesting. The May update will address a lot of what Nee was talking about. Homing attacks, heat attacks, the stacks is what Nee called it, but the real name for it is installs, plus frame mix-ups, a lot of that stuff. But then he says there's another update in June. And I'm happy to see that these updates are coming pretty much as quickly as possible. Because once again, when you talk about season 1, they were very unwilling to update the game while tournaments was going on. But now with the game being in such a dire situation, they are forced to. Think about what Nee said in that tweet as well. He said, if you are a blue rank, yes, every character in the game is overpowered. But if you are a pro player, that is not the case. And at the same time as he was saying that, arguing with people on Twitter, we saw Arsenal and Ash also say that Lars is not the best character for tournament. He is powerful for going through pools, bodying some of the people who just show up to the tournaments to have fun. But when you get to the top 8, when you start fighting like the Atifs, the Olsans, the Knees, he said Lars is going to cut it. He's just not a character who's able to win against the best because they know too much, their reactions is too strong, and they will shut you down. And that's kind of what I try to highlight when I say different characters are powerful for different levels of players, right? I could go more into details, but we have 4 more tweets here from Harada, so let's talk about these. Someone says, Harada, honestly, does the team even know what they want with Tekken 8? Every new patch seems like a new experiment. The disconnect between the player base and the development team is worrying. In short, all I'll say to this is that I think they thought we would like this. They convinced themselves that this hyper aggressive, no defense style of Tekken is fun, and they thought we would have fun, but that's just not true. Harada says 8 was challenging in some aspects with a new team for battle and tuning, but we have returned to the team structure to the members of the past. In addition, the director Nakatsu, who we all know and love, is now able to check and improve all tuning details. He was short on time as general manager, but now he gives final approval for every detail of battle and tuning. As you know, he originally comes from the fan community and was a writer for the game magazines and strategy articles, and also in charge of battle and tuning for Tag 2 and Tekken 7. So I don't think there is anything to worry about in the future. Now, this is a very powerful tweet because he's basically saying he restructured the balance inside of the community. This is crazy because this is the second time we heard Harada say this. Back in season 1, when they were having a lot of monetization issues with Heihachi, the stage, etc., Harada put out a statement that he later deleted, but he said the publishing team is no longer under my control and they're doing things that I don't like. So I'm going to restructure the company to put them back under my control so we don't have this problem again. Now with Tekken 8, at the balancing side of it, he's saying the same exact thing. This is something that I've been trying to highlight as well that some of you guys may not be aware of, but with Tekken 7, there was two types of balancing teams. The first one is the original balancing team who made all the prior Tekkens. They also made the base roster for Tekken 7, they made Season 1, and they made Season 2. Now, there was another section of developers that was hired with all of the growth that Harada talks about, and they showed up and they helped out with the Season 3 DLC. That's why those Season 3 DLC characters are so powerful, so different, and they feel very different, and that's because different people made them. They also, that same team made Season 4, and they had a big role in making Tekken 8's base roster and also the DLC. And now Harada is saying that this is going on for too far, and we're going to have the original team step back in to take control. Now, the question that I ask is, what was the original team doing this whole time? This is what I don't understand. They reached so much success with Tekken 7, and they just started to change the formula. It's weird that they did all of that, but it's good to see that they're going back. As I was editing this video, I looked at Twitter and I looked at Reddit just to see what the conversation was like, and it quickly took a left turn. Players are picking up something that I did not perceive, which is why I am adding this new section into this video to explain. So we just looked at Harada's tweets where he was talking about how he's moving out the new team. Those guys are being pushed aside and the original team is coming back. What players are interpreting this as is that Harada basically fired those guys. He fired the people who worked on Season 2 and he is replacing them with the original team. Now, where was the original team at? I don't know. But the fact that the players are coming to the conclusion that Harada basically just said he fired the Season 2 development team is crazy. I don't know if that's what he meant to say. If it's not what he meant to say, he is definitely going to make a clarification quick. He hasn't done so at the time of the recording. Once he does say something next, I will definitely make a follow-up video. Subscribe for that. But then also, before you celebrate, yeah, they're firing the Season 2 team, I think it's also important to think about what's happening. One of the only people who seems to be thinking straight is this tweet here where it says, dudes probably did what they were told to do. We remember who told us we can block hell sweeps instead of sidewalking and said on stream, good movement discriminates new players. So if Harada actually did fire the Season 2 team for Season 2, that is kind of crazy because they were only following Harada, Nakatsu, and Michael Murray's leadership. But we have two more tweets. This person says, you don't need members of the past. You outright need an entire new team, including you, Murray, and Nakatsu. The identity of Tekken has gone down the toilet because of your arrogance and greed. How many of you guys agree with this? He's basically saying all of you guys are terrible. Everyone get out of there. And I don't agree with this. I do think that they just lost their way and it's time for them to lock in and do what they're supposed to do. Not cater to new players, not cater to Japan, cater to Tekken. But Harada says, starting off with parentheses and a lot of dots. So that's what happens with the new team. I already know that you don't need me for much longer. I've been trying to resolve this for the last few years. So this is Harada speaking to his impending retirement. He said he wanted to retire after Tekken 9, and he's really trying to structure the company in a way to where when he leaves, the ship continues. They don't hit any icebergs. This is important because, you know, Harada can't do it forever. He's like almost about to be like 60. And I think at a certain point in time, you just retire and you just be proud that you were able to make this franchise last 30 years and it's one of the oldest running video games. Now, whether or not the next generation can carry it, you can't really control that. All you can do is try to structure them, teach them, and position them to carry the gauntlet. And I mean, I know Nakatsu gets a lot of flack, but say what you will about him, but I know there's people who say Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is the best Tekken. He had a big role in that. I know there's people who say Tekken 7 is one of the best Tekkens. He had a role in that, right? So no matter which of the two you look at, Nakatsu has proven that he can do it. It's just that they just lost their vision, in my opinion. But the final tweet, someone says, "Don't leave the game direction, Harada. You add a necessary essence to Tekken that will be sorely missed if you're gone. Please do not let the loud Twitter minority get you on this matter." Harada says, "But that's the way the world works. The world is quiet around me when I have a good title evaluation, but when I have a bad evaluation, I'm called greedy and arrogant. I understand this because I've experienced it several times before. That is the way it is." And that's true, right? When you do something good, whether you put out a good game, whether you put out a good video, all of the haters won't say nothing, silence. But when you make a mistake or you do something bad, the whole world is showing up to talk trash. And this is why I try to be as honest and as fair to the developers as possible, because this is something that I experience as well with my videos, with my Twitter, with whatever. And I get it. But also, I'm a Tekken player and fix the game. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe, and bye-bye.